Hello CAD students, this is Mr. Iser ready to show you some more tips. Today hopefully you'll watch these videos really good, and I know in a couple years when you're making six figures you can be like, man, Mr. Iser is the greatest CAD teacher ever. Anyway, so I want to show you how to use a couple of the multi-copy commands. These will really help you out. I've used these on many projects, and they speed up your work really well. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to draw a circle, just to show you that it can be done with multiple shapes. I'm going to do a rectangle as well, and then click on my circle, go to this multiple copy button, and I'm going to start off showing you the top feature. So basically it just copied that circle 10 times. So that's the columns. If I want to add rows, I can add rows. Right here's my horizontal spacing. So right now it's going for the outer edge to inner edge. And I can change that back to that. Right now it's at almost a 1/4 inch, or I can make it bigger. So there's a 1/2 inch. And then here's my vertical spacing. I can go down a little bit. Right now everything's happening from the corner. I could make it happen from the center. So there's my original shape from the center. And, pretty self-explanatory, right? If I have a plate available, I could click on this button and it could fill the plate. So if I have my plate open, the red box, you would see where that would fill the plate. So this one's super easy to use, and it kills me when I see students trying to draw a whole bunch of the duplicate shapes and evenly space them, because really, you don't necessarily have to do that. When I have it ready, I hit apply. And then now the pieces are kind of permanent, so to speak. So I'm going to go back, undo, and I'm going to just show you, it's the same way with this rectangle. Click on there, and if I want more rows, I can go more rows, less rows, things like that. Real handy tool. So now this is the one that I really think is impressive, and you might use these on, if you're making a set of bead locks. I was just watching an off-road video where they made their own bead locks at a plasma cutter, and they had to space out the holes, evenly. And so this is a really handy, I'll show you a fireplace surround I made using this tool, and super helpful tool. So now I'm going to go down here to this button. It's called Art Copy, and I'm going to center it in the center. So now my line, it's going right to the center, my measurements, and I can keep adding, numbers. So now I have 13 segments, and then if I want the radius bigger, so that's, obviously how far they are from the center. My sweep angle is really easy to understand, so I'm at 180 right now, and so that's a 1/2 a circle. And then if I keep increasing it, and if eventually, if I just type in 360, it'll be a full circle. So real handy for a lot of different shapes or brackets. If you're trying to do some evenly spaced holes, let's say this was a big, huge cell phone tower, and these are all bolt mounts. It's really nice to have those all spaced equally. So that way they're nice and clean. So that one's really easy to understand. If I click unalign, basically what that does is it starts to stray from that line. So you want to make sure you click on that align button. That's the easy one to forget. Now the next one over here, I want to show you. I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to go close. Still kept them. This one's a little harder to understand. But it's pretty neat. So I'm going to delete all these but one. And click on this guy, go over to here. I'm having a hard time clicking on the button because my screen recorder is in the way. So there it goes. Great. So I just clicked path copy. And this one has a lot more to understand, so to speak. You're going to go to hold number, hold spacing, And then I'm going to click back on the shape for this to work, and then you can kind of see what it's doing. So if I increase the spacing, you'll kind of see how it changes. Okay, the offset moves a little bit. I'm going to click on a line again, and then I'm going to click on numbers. I'm going to add some numbers here. See how it just evenly spaces them real nice for you. Like I said, this one's a little more cumbersome than the last one. But now I can offset it down. See how it's just moving the shape in general. And that's kind of handy. I'm going to go back here to inside corners. Let's see, I gotta increase the number again. Decrease the offset a little bit. And I'm gonna decrease, oops, I didn't want to go that far. Anyway, just something to kind of mess around with on that command. So, oops, I wanted to actually leave that. Yeah, let me just show you this real quick. You know, I don't know how many of you are actually using this, but if I go to help contents and I type in multiple nope let's try this. Let me go to just go back, path copy. So it just kind of goes through and walks you through the steps. So, you know, I think the help tool can be handy if you're getting stuck on something. It kind of helps you walk through there and helps explain a little bit. One example that they were kind of giving in there that I want to show you is if you have two shapes like this. Another way to do this besides trimming, you know, that's what we started off with, was trimming. We can go transform weld, and you can mess around with here a little bit. So weld joined, okay, and if I go like this, weld common, so that's where the two pieces were overlapping. Or I can go back, transform, weld, subtract. So then it just takes away one of them. So kind of an interesting command to kind of play with once you start, you know, doing some of the different shapes. All right, well, have a great day.